The Red Earth Community Foundation was formed in 2011 against a backdrop of challenging socio-economic conditions and after almost a decade of drought across the South Burnett in southern inland Queensland. This traditionally productive and vibrant agricultural area was struggling, and a small but determined group of people believed that a community foundation could help drive change. One of their first priorities was going to be a community leadership program, but before they could get going, the community was hit by not one, but two devastating floods. In hindsight, this was just the catalyst they needed to create a community leadership program.
I think the important thing about community leadership is that we do invest in it. My belief is that rural and regional Australia relies on people, and our industries rely on people. I would say that agriculture is nothing without people, that we can have the most brilliant scientists and we can have the most brilliant forecasters and economists, but none of that will happen on the ground without people. And one of the areas that we often overlook is investing in people. And to me, community leadership is about investing in our most precious resource. It's about investing in the future, that if we can pass on skills, if we can scaffold people, if we can mentor the next generation of leaders, then we ensure sustainability for our industries and for our regions right across the country.
I think the timing was right in terms of the leadership program happening because of adversity often brings out the best in people, and which is what we saw through many people through the floods, is just people putting their hand up and stepping up on a volunteer basis and showing leadership. And it seemed like, okay, this is a great time. We've identified these people, they're out there. Let's run with it and support them on their journey.
There used to be some strong community leadership programs in Queensland. One of them was Building Rural Leaders. But at the moment, there are no community leadership programs running in regional Queensland. So for some time now, I've been applying for funding to actually run a community leadership program in the South Burnett. And when we formed the foundation, we very much talked about the need to develop leadership and have strong and effective leadership. And it's partly about having strong leadership on council and in formal positions of leadership, but also about having informal leaders who have an ability to connect and network outside their normal areas of influence. We chose to do a customised one because there really was nothing on the shelf that our region could afford, the participants in our region could afford. And also we just couldn't see anything being offered that was within, in a sense, within the reach or the capacity. We also had to tailor how much a region that's been through a few disasters, the time that you take people away from their homes and their businesses is really critical. So one of the challenges of taking something off the shelf is that often it's quite a long residential time. So we chose 2.5 day residential model a month apart because we felt that was about the tipping point for people to be able to engage and yet still learn enough about leadership as a process and a technique and develop strong networks between themselves.
The format we chose is heavily based on the old Queensland Government's Building Rural Leaders program. So we already had connections to Pam McAllister, who facilitated with the old program. So there were modules that we were comfortable with that we knew had worked in our community before. And so Pam was able to couple together something that suited our time frame and what we were after to help these people to develop resilience, to give them the confidence to take another step forward if that in fact is what they wanted to do.
We had an organisation approach us wanting to assist in disaster recovery, and it was a catalyst. $6,000 was a catalyst for us to say, well, if we've got $6,000, we've got some of our own funding that we could use from our disaster fund, and we could actually turn this into something else. And so over a 3 or 4 month period, we raised nearly $40,000 to run a leadership program in early 2014.
The program ran in 2014 and 2015 with a diverse mix of participants in both courses. They came together to learn more about themselves, to build connections, and to build the confidence to get involved in shaping their local community. The program is designed to be fun, active, challenging, and practical. Learning happens through activities, games, videos, and focused conversations. Red Earth is flourishing with local involvement, local investment, and locals planning for their future. And as this feedback shows, it has already made a huge difference.
I think there's a place for everyone within the community, regardless of their style, whether or not they're great at galvanising and getting people on board, or whether or not they're happy to do the tick the boxes, fold the laundry, do all the little stuff in the background.
And our long-term vision is about having a strong alumni, a leadership alumni, who become the leaders of our community. I mean, at the Community Foundation perspective, we would love to be redundant because the alumni of the leadership program have become the directors and the leaders of the Community Foundation.